Yo ho, happy birthday to me! Hey! Yes, surprisingly, we have not covered this franchise yet in the... Oh god. Now nearly 10 years we've been doing this show. Christ.
Not to mention, Jovah, this year is actually the 20th anniversary of this franchise.
So, it's a perfect year to do it.
What is today's passive in this case?
Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, the movie that would pretty much skyrocket Johnny Depp's career, the movie that showed that, hey, Disney movies based off of rides don't have to suck, and also the movie that pretty much brought pirates back to the forefront. Yeah, I've done a bit of research, and people weren't kidding when they said that up until Curse of the Black Pearl, pirates were kinda becoming box office poison, if they weren't that already.
Cutthroat Island and that, yeah.
Yeah, Cutthroat Island won the worst picture in the end of the 80s, I think.
1995.
1995, which basically sunk the genre until this brought it back.
Sunk
Kind of
that ship.
superhero movies.
Someday we need to look at Cutthroat Island so I can see if it's really as bad as the legends say, but for now, we're looking at the movie that revitalized pirates, and I kid you not, for a stake of time, this was actually Disney's highest grossing franchise. Yes, before the days of the MCU, this was the big moneymaker. The movie franchise based off of the ride. And yes, that's
why
right.
It lasted as long as it did.
And yeah, that's right, I said ride. We've covered other movies based off of Disney rides, most recently Mission to Mars.
And I didn't even knew that for a while.
Again, sadly, movies based off of Disney rides have not had the best track record. But Pirates of the Caribbean, as you can probably tell, did. And, let's see, on a budget of $140 million, it grossed $654.3 million, and that's just the first movie. And pretty much everyone involved would become a household name, assuming they weren't already, because, yes, fresh out of Lord of the Rings, they got Orlando Bloom. So...
It was the good timing for him.
Alright.
Shall we start then?
Yes, we shall. Alright then. So, as for the logo to start before...
You apparently don't have any. If you have, skip all of them until you have a black screen before the movie literally starts. So.
The good old days before logos ruled entire film openings.
Alright, take us away, Jovah.
3, 2, 1, go. And
hey guys, did
away.
Oh, yes, Shioi?
Did you know Shaolin Showdown is also 20 years old?
I remember that show.
Basically, anything that originated in 2003 is 20 years old.
Aside from knowing the name vaguely, I only know it because Deji told me about it recently.
I actually saw this movie in theaters, and yes, like she said, it's been 20 years.
And yet,
I saw this in theaters as well.
And yet, I'm gonna say it. It's been 20 years. These are still some of the best effects I've seen in film. As in, the effects shown in this movie feel like they could hold up to present day.
Yeah, this movie released at a time where this was before Hollywood started overusing CGI. At the point where we were still in that point in time where filmmakers were trying to keep a balance of practical and CG, for the most part.
As you know.
I know these actors from somewhere. Is it Liam Shriver?
No.
Yeah, Mr. Gibbs, who is played by?
No. He's played by Kevin R. McNally.
Okay.
Yes, and funnily enough, guys, you know those of us that watched the Twin Dilemma commentary for Doctor Who years ago?
What about it?
Kevin McNally was in that.
Fair enough. Chug.
I mean, it's amazing to go from one of the worst pieces of sci-fi ever broadcast on TV to this, so...
don't worry, Miss Swan. You will certainly get to meet pirates, that is for sure.
Instead, who actually plays up Elizabeth's father, the guy that we saw in the background?
Jonathan Pryce.
There he is.
He's a Welsh actor, so
I,
for your
I,
benefit.
I had already seen a bunch of these actors when I got to see the movie. Also, 2 trivias attached to that. One, since I did not have access to the internet back then, I had no idea this was based on a Disney World attraction. Instead, my knowledge about that was basically, for us Europeans, is only Disneyland Paris. And even then, it doesn't. If I recall correctly, it doesn't even have the same amount in types of attraction that the other Disney World, parks do have. And 2, but the title of this movie in my country is almost completely different. It axes away the Pirates of the Caribbean, portion, and just calls it the Curse of the First Moon, which technically is something that is tied to the curse that happens in this movie, but they could have just called it Curse of a Black Pearl.
Also,
the thing is, Theo, yes, the moon is involved, but first moon implies the first moon of the
like
of
a
the
new
week
moon
of the month, yes.
Which has nothing to do with anything. Go on, Jovah.
Because technically it has to do with a full moon or moonlight in general, and a new moon is like...
It's still not... The point is that it's not a good title.
So yes.
So as you can imagine, when the sequels arrived, they actually kept in instead the Pirates of the Caribbean nomenclature.
My country just did a literal translation.
So in a bit of an unorthodox stance, the movie does actually not start with our main hero, but starts with these 2 satellite characters.
Yes.
Well,
Elizabeth
there's also the
Swann.
fact of...
That's to establish backstory.
That guy just said, the one who told him he did both. I swear his face reminds me of Steve Coogan, even though I know it isn't.
There's also the fact, Jovah, that while some might have a bit more importance than others, one of the strengths of these movies is that the protagonist, it's not one single protagonist, but it's slightly decentralized over a group of important characters.
I do agree that these movies are very good ensemble pieces.
Yeah. By the way, if you have these movies on home video or on Disney Plus, I can definitely recommend checking out the bloopers special feature.
Oh yeah, the bloopers are
the bloopers
wonderful.
on these movies are hilarious, so they're definitely worth watching. It should be on the extras part of Disney Plus, so you can check it there. If you have the Blu-ray or DVD, it should be there too.
Boy, Legolas had a pretty weird childhood, didn't he, Dwibs?
Sorry?
Legolas had a pretty weird childhood, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. He was in this, grew up, got sucked into a different universe, and lived the life as an elf, and then suddenly got deposited back here.
My all-time favorite blooper from this series is when the actor playing Elizabeth's dad is trying to read something, and at some point he stops and he goes, "I can't read my own handwriting."
That's Jonathan Pryce, in case you're saying.
Yeah, Jonathan Pryce.
Hey, that's a mood, okay?
Oh no, she grew up to be Keira Knightley.
Oh God.
Okay. I'll admit, I actually am fine.
Wait, what did she do?
Yeah.
She was 2 years fresh of Star Wars Episode 1 now from this, by the way.
I'll admit, I've never had an issue with Keira Knightley in these movies. So anyway, if you recall earlier, she noticed that Will had a pirate doubloon, which led her to believe that he's a pirate, and well, as you can imagine, that probably would not do him well with the authorities.
Well, if you know anything remotely about archaeology, that really looks like something else, but the movie itself will explain later.
Alright, so as Pedro was talking about Elizabeth's dad earlier, he's played by Jonathan Pryce. Funnily enough, they did offer the role to Brian Cox at one point, but he turned down the role because he didn't want to work with Johnny Depp. But the role went to Pryce, who actually felt the opposite way towards him.
Oh, the irony.
Fuck you, Dad.
Okay, this bit. Now, as some historians may point out, yes, there were some...
Hold on, Jovah.
Yes.
Is that a thing, Dwebs and Shirley? Women in London.
I think
learn
Jovah
how
was
to
about to
breathe?
I wouldn't
explain.
know.
Go on, Jovah.
Right. As some historians will point out, while there were some bad corsets, corsets in general were not the death traps that people make them out to be. The maker of Musical Hell kind of hinted at this in her Beauty and the Beast winter Christmas review thing in that regard. But yes, no, there were some bad corsets, but corsets in general were not those death traps. Although, granted, given what's implied later, I guess we can assume that this is one of the bad ones she got. So yeah.
By the way, if I remember correctly, that story is also going to be important for the sequels. So
Oh, yes.
pay attention to that. Also, I think I noticed only watching this now because I've been watching this movie for a while. Occasionally, I had a couple of marathons of watching the first trilogy. This movie reflects a bit the early 2000s by having a slight, not a lot, but a slight component of desaturation of the colors. I guess that's why even the Kingdom Hearts world has that kind of effect.
Huh,
Yeah,
now
this
that you
is-
mention it, the fourth
Sorry.
movie did get a lot more colorful now that I think about it.
No, it's not for my usual spiel. I don't get the appeal of these dresses. Honestly, I just think they look overstuffed.
Oh, Victorian dresses? Very fanciful.
I get the idea. It was more of a case of, at the time, it was people genuinely believed, it made people more attractive. A result of enforced beauty stereotypes.
So anyway,
Yeah, that's my problem. Go on.
so Will here has delivered a very fanciful sword that is implied to have been made by his master, but in actuality was made by him. His master just takes a lot of credit. And it is a very fine sort of craftsmanship. And there he is, Keith Richards himself, Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm not joking. Johnny Depp did say that he based this character heavily off of Keith Richards.
Well, it's not like Keith Richards himself will actually show up later in the series.
Imagine.
They originally wrote it for Hugh Jackman.
Huh. Man.
And 12 years after this, he will actually instead be Captain Blackbeard for Pan.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I can see Hugh Jackman in this role, honestly.
I mean, I know it's about of timelines, and yeah, again, piracy ain't exactly beloved.
Pirates, ye be warned.
If we didn't mention the name, but if you know anything about the history at the time, and the geography, this is Port Royal, essentially a British colony that functioned as basically.
Hold on, I love this bit here.
This
Yeah.
is the perfect
He's actually a good
introduction
guy.
of the character. He literally just shows up with pretty much nothing but the clothes on his back and a sinking ship. As far as you know,
the ship lasted just enough for him to port here.
knowing Jack, it's
Oh, and by the
exactly as
way-
he planned.
I need to mention this actor. This actor here who's right now talking to Jack Sparrow. This is I already know this. I already knew this actor before I saw this movie. He was a very prominent character in the British sitcom Allo Allo,
Huh.
which I'm a big fan of.
This discount Benjamin Franklin.
The good old English system of monetary value.
Of course.
But yes, this is one thing to remember with Jack. At first sight, he seems like an utter buffoon. Be careful. That's exactly what he wants you to think.
Also, the way the franchise, characterizes the British is interesting. You would think that they would either go one way or another to be essentially a force for good because, piracy is bad, or instead to be cartoonishly evil. They will dance around a bit.
What I do like about this franchise is that it does look at the nuances of piracy at the time. Like, yes, to be fair, a lot of pirates did bad things. To also be fair, though, there were a lot of pirates that were pirates because of very unfortunate circumstances. Heck, a lot of pirates were actually slaves who fled, and, well, the only way they could be free was being a pirate. So, it's very much a great issue. In fact, well, okay, I should probably save it for one of the sequels where we get more of
Also,
a hinting of
these
Jack's
two,
backstory.
these Tweedledum and Tweedledee also will be slightly recurring. Think of them as not necessarily the Biggs and Wedge equivalent, but kinda, sorta.
It's amazing how much these two survive for whereas other people die. I kind of love them for it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe now, but while they were filming the movie, the executives and even Gore Verbinski, while they were filming it, they were actually really confused and worried over Johnny Depp's performance as Jack Sparrow. Some executives were wondering whether the character was drunk or gay. And Michael Eisner at one point even proclaimed he's ruining the film.
Oh, yes, because...
But since it was Michael Eisner, people wisely ignored him.
Okay. This was Michael Eisner in the 2000s, so yeah, good to ignore him. Again, that's...
And Johnny Depp's decision to cap his teeth with gold for real was a bit uncomfortable to Jerry Bruckheimer, but Depp basically said, okay, you know how I perform, so either trust me with this or fire me.
Yeah,
That's actually a cool question to ask. Did Johnny Depp improvise most of his lines or not? I'm actually curious.
I don't know about lines,
maybe
but
some of them.
Well, actually, tell I don't know about most lines, but I can tell you one line later on that he definitely did not improvise. But I'll bring it up when we get to it.
So there's word of this special ship, a ship with black sails, which is said to be the most powerful ship out there.
From which Quentin Tarantino movie did you two came from? Seriously.
Also, I gotta love that. This performance is a little too gay for my liking.
Which is ironic because later days Disney would be all over a character who seems gay. Just shows how much the times do change.
Or how much people were idiots.
But yeah, no, Johnny Depp... Okay, I don't know if I don't think he was particularly big. I know he definitely was not as big as he came after this.
No, what happened was Disney realized since they make musicals and gay people pretty much have a monopoly on this whole thing, they could work with it.
Oh my god, I can't with this.
This is why you two aren't in the ceremony.
Jack Sparrow. My name's Captain Jack Sparrow, and I'm going to be king of the pirate. Oh no, wait, sorry.
You're getting ahead of yourself, mate.
So yeah.
Okay, see, we talked about cartoonishly evil. Meet Commodore Norrington. While he's not, over the top, he encapsulates the snootiness of your typical British asshole guy.
To show you what is proper, of course, in modern society.
I especially love this scene because Elizabeth is not giving a single shit because she's literally dying.
Yeah.
Well, it's more so, Teo, that she's incredibly uncomfortable because of the corset.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My guy.
So
yeah, Elizabeth would have died just now.
So we mentioned about Gore Verbinski being the director, but who was the writers or writers?
Let's see. The writers were Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, along with Stuart Beattie and Jay Wolpert. And yes, as Teo mentioned, the director is Gore Verbinski. Okay, I just have this to say about Gore Verbinski. He is, still to this day, one of the masters of practical action. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, pro tip for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, whenever you notice waves in the water being generated from almost nowhere and the wind changing like that, that is usually a bad sign.
Yeah, this is a franchise that establishes very quickly that the supernatural is real. It's not your average pirate story.
Mm-hmm.
This is Jack Sparrow's save the cat in the tree moment to establish that he's a pirate of a heart of gold.
Yeah, and when you learn about how he became a pirate, you really do know he really had the deck stacked against him. But yeah, Gore Verbinski is, again, I'd say one of the masters of practical action, even to this day. Like, whether or not his movies turn out good or bad, I would say he always manages to get exceptional action.
I love this line here.
Remember that line, because we'll be going to Singapore in a sequel as well.
Shit.
Oh boy. Again.
Don't worry, Jovah. I'm sure the India trading companies will not be a factor in this.
The captain is very important.
The captain is doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Yes. You're found guilty of telling the truth.
Huh.
He seems very simple.
The publicity is...
I love that look.
You're being
Yeah, that
pedantic.
publicity, I guess.
Still, I love that look that says, crap, he has a point. Arrest him!
Says the Brit.
I mean, you pirates just steal all willy-nilly, unlike us British who don't steal a bloody thing.
No, Jovah,
You also dress ridiculous, which we do not.
You had to say it like Murphy Lee from the D&D movie. Pirates, always taking things that don't belong to you.
But yeah, like Commodore was saying, he only has one gun with only one bullet in it. Keep that in mind for later.
Yeah, the guns. The unfortunate thing about guns at the time is that reloading was not exactly the most. You had to make the shot count, basically.
But keep in mind, though, he has no additional ammo on him, which is weird for a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will never say that line again!
Of course.
Yes.
And as Jack
Oh, come on,
shows...
guys, you jumped into that deliberately.
And as Jack shows, the minute you underestimate him is the moment you come to regret it.
To be fair, considering the unpredictability factor, what are you even supposed to expect?
Like, I mean, give this dude credit. He was actually able to keep up with the nonsense going on in the Kingdom Hearts universe because he's just that unpredictable, and I totally buy it.
Mm-hmm. James Arnold Taylor in Kingdom Hearts 2 was an unconvincing impersonator, but the guy they got for Kingdom Hearts 3, the guy who also did...
Wasn't that also...
I think.
Wasn't that also James?
The guy who nowadays... No. Right now, Jovah, Disney has a backup voice actor they use for Jack Sparrow.
They have been using him for...
Yeah, and he does a very excellent Jack Sparrow impression, and he did Jack Sparrow in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mm-hmm. At that point, he was already cast.
Yeah, he's done plenty of stuff for, like, I think he probably, like, does Disney Dreamlight Valley have Jack Sparrow in it?
I don't even know if he does voice acting in it.
I know Disney Speedstorm has him in it. I mean, granted, like...
Disney Dreamlight Valley has minor voice acting.
Okay.
Like, you get words and phrases, basically.
The point is, every time Disney needs voice acting for this character, they get him.
Was he also the same?
Johnny Depp is expensive.
Was he the same guy who voiced Jack in the Sea of Thieves collaboration too?
Probably.
Definitely. It's kind of like how for every subsequent appearance of Woody, when he's not in a movie, they get to Tom Hanks' brother.
Yeah.
Hanks. Yeah.
So yeah, Here we see Will's master in his natural habitat, asleep.
I mean, that's relatable after passing out after a booze. What are you going to do to that donkey?
Well, believe it or not, that's how these mechanisms worked back then. Get a mule to push.
Poor ass.
Well, too, that's what Lempwick gets for being an asshole.
I suppose.
Of course this is in the same universe as Pinocchio.
Why not, right?
Like, believe it or not, I think...
considering the fucked up shit that goes on in this franchise, that's not even too outrageous, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just one of the many, many, many cursed islands. Oh?
Yeah, Will sense a disturbance in the Force.
Don't mess with the hat. Boy, word gets around quick.
It's a small town.
Yeah.
And yeah, even though Jack has never met this guy before, he seems somewhat familiar.
At least buy a drink first. Seriously, the sexual tension in this movie is ridiculous.
But Will's pretty skilled with a sword, it seems. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware we were in class.
Oh, nice.
I love it that despite this,
to the death.
I love that all of this is not enough. All of this, sound is not enough to wake up the master.
Although, you gotta give it to Jack, he was literally just using that so he could maneuver his way around. Again, that's the thing about Jack. He may not look it, but he's constantly thinking 6 steps ahead, even if things don't go according to plan. That's when he has to get creative, and he's arguably at his most dangerous when he has to get creative. Counterpoint.
Are you sure about that? You sure about that?
The donkey literally has PTSD just watching the heated up iron is enough to make him go. Jesus.
Now, people sometimes think Jack's the worst swordsman in the franchise. I would argue the contrary. I think he's the best. Like, he is technically already disarmed Will when you get down to it. And if you think he's amazing in this film, wait till you see his feats in the 3rd film. But yes, one customary trick of Gore Verbinski, get very good scenery which makes for incredibly creative action sequences. In this case, a sword fight in a literal sword-making shop. Also, I love how Jack pretty much did the old equivalent of, dude, you need to get laid. You see, guys? This is what it takes to cancel out Legolas's broken OPU state. Captain Jack Sparrow.
Shit.
Well, shoot.
Let me check what I have seen of Gore Verbinski's career aside from this.
He did The Ring. I think he did the first American remake of The Ring.
I saw it, but it was too long ago for me to remember. I saw Mouse Hunter in 1997.
Love that movie.
Yeah, in fact, the Ring 1, that was literally the film he made 1 year before this.
He did go.
He also did Rango.
Love that movie.
I forgot about it. I forgot about it as well, but I'll need to receipt.
Oh shoot!
Anything else?
Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Also,
Did Mouse Hunt.
He did.
Mexican.
He did The Lone Ranger. I also love that movie. And even if it's not the best, the final battle scene is just wonderful.
Hold on.
Oh.
Huh?
Again, keep in mind, Jack could have just shot
Hey,
Will.
he did look up. Also, Gore Verbinski stopped doing anything in 2016.
Weird.
He was supposed to direct
Well,
like every
remember-
movie, but then he retired.
Also-
A kill for Baldus really did a number on him.
All of his movies after Pirates of the Caribbean were not exactly box office mega hits or anything like that. Rango, if I remember correctly, was a box office disappointment, if I remember
It
correctly.
wasn't too much of a bomb, but from checking here, it did not make double the budget. Also, this I know. This is actually a scene lifted straight from the attraction.
Yep.
The
with the
prisoners
dog and
asking for
everything.
the goal. If you played the second Monkey Island game, it's recreated also there.
So yeah, poor Will. Once again, Mr. Brown takes credit for his work, just like with the sword, and for also catching Jack.
By the way, have you considered to be my body double? Oh wait, wrong movie.
Why would I be your
I
body
never
double?
want to wear a corset again.
Why would I be your body double? I'm technically your boss. If anything, you should be my body double. But hey, I'm sure this day can't get any worse for Elizabeth.
Absolutely.
Checks movies in the future.
Oh,
Oh,
look at that. The maid is Will and Elizabeth shipper.
yes. Yeah, again, that's one great thing. The side characters in Pirates movies are pretty much often great, even those that appear for like 1 or 2 scenes. But yes, now everyone is sensing a disturbance.
The
Again,
heartless attacking.
Again, that's one thing I love about these movies. They're very good at setting the tone when something really ain't right. And what better way to show something's not right than what looks to be the literal embodiment of a ghost ship. Pure black, holes in the sails and everything. Which does make you wonder how that ship is the fastest with those tattered sails, but it could be magic. Oh!
Shit.
You know those guns? How
I
can you
guess
tell
you
the
can
the sound of different guns apart?
Seems like Jack's really taken an interest in the Pearl. Good point.
A parrot said it.
Granted, given that we...
Then the parents... Well, in that case, aren't the parents the survivors?
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, like I said, while this movie does portray some pirates as good guys, it does remember to show that pirates can still be nasty news. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these bits are actually throwbacks to the ride as well.
Unless you follow another Disney property about pirates, in which case they never take other people's property.
No.
Oh yeah, here's
Also,
another
these
duo you
two.
want to remember. Ragiti and Pintel. They are played by, let me see, Mackenzie Crook and Lee Arenberg.
Okay, what
Jake and the
cruel
Neverland
fate.
Pirates, in case you're wondering.
I have to say though, what cruel fate to be born in a family whose family name is Crook.
And I assure you, he's not
That's
Australian.
practically begging your kids to be bullied.
And yet, he's not Australian. He's English, actually.
even so, like seriously, his last name is Crook. Like, do you have any idea how much trouble that kid must have gone through?
So would you say that's better or worse than the woman whose last name was Junk?
Well, yeah, that too. Parents, be mindful of what you name your kids.
Okay, granted, to be fair...
That's all I'm asking.
Though, to be fair, Crook is his last name, so I guess that's the family name.
It's a good thing we can legally change our names, even our last ones.
If anything, it's a statement about his ancestry. Apparently, someone fucked up so badly. This guy got John Lennon, but...
In terms of Keira Knightley, she was coming off performances in miniseries like Oliver Twist from 1999, and the year before this, she was in Bend It Like Beckham, a film about two girls trying to make it big in football.
Hey, Jovah, imagine if this was done by the Jim Henson Company. Blind Pew comes in and he's all like, "Ha! William Turner, it's me, Blind Pew."
Yeah.
Ow.
Run away! Run away!
Oh!
Bad positioning.
Yeah,
Yes.
and friendly fire was turned on.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think you can use that.
Decoration swords.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's quite a few instances of fake Brit in this movie. We have a guy named Pintel, who's played by Lee Arenberg, who is American. Jeffrey Rush, an Australian, we're going to see later on, who's Australian.
Well, remember,
Johnny
Gribbs,
Depp, obviously an American, and there's another pirate we see later on called Marty, who's also played by an American.
I love how Johnny Depp's accent was so good that for a long time people thought he was British based off of these movies.
It's like how Justice Smith's accent in the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie fooled me.
Oh?
Okay, this. Starting with this movie, they basically introduced this kind of ruling system that, despite being outlaws, the pirates do possess quite everything.
Well, to be fair to Barbosa, a certain character is going to explain later that it's not necessarily rules.
Believe it or not...
And the third movie will retcon that.
So, believe it or not, historically, there was actually a pirate code made by Bartholomew Roberts, essentially. Bartholomew Roberts is the historical figure responsible for the more romanticized view you see of pirates in some films. And that's sort of because he wanted to give pirates a bit of a better rep, while also giving them regulations. Let me put it like this. If Blackbeard was the guy who essentially showed how rough and tough pirates could be, Roberts was the guy who wanted to show how refined pirates could be, and show that, hey, sometimes they have their own reasons. Oh! Man, Legolas has really been getting his rocks kicked in.
I know, in Lord of the Rings, Legolas is like the most perfect person ever, but in this movie, he's getting really sloppy.
And that's the deal with Captain Jack Sparrow. He can sometimes have the best of luck, or he can sometimes have the worst of luck. There is, almost no in between for this man.
He works with it either way.
He really does.
Keira Knightley had to wear hair extensions for this movie because she literally just came off Bend It Like Beckham.
And I love the irony. Now he's got to resort to the bone trick. The same bone trick he was pretty much chastising everyone else for.
Come on, you little shit. God damn it.
He didn't say little shit tail, but it was basically the same intent.
Okay, don't think these movies have too much gore. What are the ratings of them?
PG-13.
Yes?
PG-13, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
These were, I think... Okay, granted, there were technically other movies under Disney that were PG-13, but I think this was like amongst the first movies that Disney openly admitted, yeah, it's ours, that was PG-13.
And Knightley was 17 when they filmed this movie.
Well,
Really?
Jovah, there was no way for them to pretend this is based on a Disneyland ride, for fuck's sake.
Oh? And yeah, again, we don't see it in full, but let that just be a preview for how good the effects are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and... oh, don't worry. We'll learn more about what's the deal with Jack and these guys later. But for now, the moon makes its exit.
Oh, God, yeah. All the other potential guys that were thinking of casting as Jack Sparrows, not just Hugh Jackman. They also approached Jim Carrey, but he was busy with Bruce Almighty.
Jim Carrey is Jack Sparrow.
To be fair, I can see that working.
There's also Matthew McConaughey.
No, that's miscasting. That's miscasting if I've ever heard it.
Christopher Walken.
Oh,
Christopher Walken is Jack Sparrow. Okay,
No,
you know...
he would have had the acting, but probably not the acrobatics.
Anyway, this...
There's also Michael Keaton, Rick Mayall, and Carey Elwes.
Rick
Oh my
Mail,
God,
no thank you.
Hey, Dwebs, can you imagine him doing Jack Sparrow a la Drop Dead Fred?
Anyway...
Okay, to be fair, this isn't from the director of Drop Dead Fred, so
Yes,
maybe
Jovah.
he could have.
But yeah, the black guy there is played by Isaac Singleton Jr. He is Lurtz in the Lord of... Yep. He also has Lurtz in the Lord of the Rings video games, and in Transformers The War for Cybertron series, he plays Soundwave.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this badass here is played by Jeffrey Rush, and he is Barbossa, the captain of the Black Pearl. One thing you want to be careful with on Barbossa is, he gives off the air of a refined gentleman, but make no mistake, you cross this guy, he'll have you dead 6 ways to Sunday.
And why should I care?
Yeah, it's like how cool in Season 5 Samurai Jack. And I care because...
Ah! Oh, but they seem to be really concerned about this coin. So she uses Will's last name because, well, she's worried that they would want to ransom her off as the governor's daughter. Little does she know, she might have landed herself in way more trouble by using Will's name.
Notice her reaction to the last name Turner. That being said, I'm going to comment on that later when there's a better time.
Oh, God. You know who they initially had in mind to be Barbossa?
Who?
Robert De Niro.
To be fair, I saw Stardust, and he can play a decent enough pirate captain, I can tell you that.
Stardust, eh?
But he turned it down because he thought the film wouldn't be a box office success.
It's based on a Neil Gaiman story, Jovah.
He regretted that.
Yeah, you know,
it's kind of like the fact that Sean Connery turned down the role of Gandalf.
Yeah, I do like that moment where, like, okay, well, the first return was never part of the negotiation, and third, the code is more guidelines than actual rules. Like Taylor said, unfortunately, the sequels are going to retcon that.
Well,
which is a shame because I like that idea.
Okay. To be fair, I'd say for the most part the sequel's treated like that, except for when you're in the presence of a certain character who absolutely considers the code law. Like, okay, the way I see it is, most pirates will just take it as guidelines. But when there's a sheer authority figure who, again, is not to be trifled with, gets involved, that's when they treat it like the rules, which, honestly, I think makes sense. Pirates be pirates until somebody comes around that can actually put them in their place.
Unfortunately, Commodore Norrington is an idiot, being British villainy and everything, so he doesn't give a shit and wants to do his own thing instead of listening to anyone else.
Well,
Yeah,
Will is essentially suggesting getting the help of, well...
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, which Norrington is not keen for.
Thing is, well, okay, Mr. Commodore, do you have any better ideas on how to find the Black Pearl?
Although he does mention he legit does want Elizabeth Safe's return, and he does have a point, it's not the time for rash thinking. The issue is that, no, Jack is probably their best bet. Huh.
It means Island of the Dead.
Yeah, I know. That said, Jack seems to really not like Barbossa from the tone of his voice. Well, busting a pirate out of jail ain't exactly gonna be good for your record.
Oh, so you do have a girlfriend. I see.
Believe it or not,
So what you're telling me, William, is that it's very easy to escape this prison, basically.
Ideally, Pedro, you can apply that to any door that has those kind of hinges. Yes, even in real life.
That being said, it's a trade secret which the prisoners typically don't know. Now, obviously, in modern days, this kind of prison would not fly for obvious reasons.
Obviously, but again, virtually, if you have any door with hinges like that, yes, applying the proper amount of physics can make it work. Watch this. There you go.
Which, to be fair, he did need to use the bench from outside to do it, so it's not like,
obviously.
it would have been easy.
More in a sense of, if you ever find a situation where you want to divulge the door, you don't have the key, I guess.
Well, William, at this point you've broken a pirate out of jail. You're already a criminal. At this point, might as well go along and steal that ship.
Basically, they're thinking about going for the Dauntless, which is the biggest ship.
I love that joke. So, how far are you going to say for her? I'd die for her. Oh, good. No worries then. The classic turtle strategy.
What year was Toy Story 2? I'm reminded of the traffic.
1999.
1999.
Oh wait, I love this line. That pretty much is the best way to sum up this franchise.
Crab trap.
Oh my god, the crabs are getting very strong today.
Why was there a goat on a boat like that?
Livestock.
Okay. Right.
No, don't do that.
Will.
Will.
Avast.
Although, that's,
You outnumber them, man!
Well, to be fair, one of them was the captain, the other were mainly workers.
keep it. I'll wait for it.
Yep. All according to plan.
Whoop.
Yeah,
I
you.
actually wanted this other ship.
Yep, they wanted
Why?
They actually wanted the Interceptor, which is the quickest ship in the Armada. It's not the
Be too
big.
late
Who
for
is it?
that.
I'll get there, fuck.
Whoa!
It may not be the biggest ship, but trust me, in this franchise, you often want the fastest one.
Like, what were you trying to do there, my guy?
'Tis civic
He's trying to
duty.
get there, to be fair.
Man, that's piratist.
Oops.
Well, shit.
Also, I'm not sure the taxpayers will be keen on that.
Shira, what's the
Oh,
worst that can...
line.
He said through gritted teeth.
Avenue Jack Sparrow. He's like shaking his fist.
I love
Also,
how
Shira... Sorry, go on.
I love how even Norrington can't deny that Jack legit pulled a good move on him.
Also, Shira, don't worry. We're just gonna tax
Oh,
the colonies.
that was it.
What's the worst that can happen?
And now all of a sudden, I never got this line. Will, for some reason, starts telling his life story to Jack for some reason. I don't get where this.
I
came
get the
from,
feeling
but
it's to
whatever.
pass the time, essentially, and he figures,
Basically.
hey, we're pretty much in it together. Might as
I
well share
guess.
stuff. But yeah, there's the real reason, though. Will was able to sense that Jack knew his father.
Yeah, we will meet him in the sequels. He's not really, but sure.
Well, okay, to be fair, he's not exactly in his prime at that point.
Also, I'm guessing when they made this first movie, they didn't really had too much of a forward planning.
All right, here it is. I love this bit here.
Also, Will, not for nothing.
Whoa!
Also, not for nothing, Will, but Jack disarmed you first. You locked his arms in chains. Technically, you were cheating just as much during that duel. And that is the overall idea message here. Yes, pirates are made out to be the devils of the sea, but as Jack points out, sometimes you can be a pirate and good. This is also probably good foreshadowing when we find out Jack's backstory on how he became a pirate as well. Let's just say, Jack did not always want to be a pirate. This is more expanded on in the junior novels, but I'll explain later in a future movie.
Of course.
But yes, we're going to Tortuga.
I love that bit. Like, in a fair fight, I would defeat you. Well, that's not really an incentive for me to fight fair, is it?
Yeah, it's a good stick at, well, the politics of the time. So yeah, Tortuga, a pirate haven. Bring the
Yes,
kids,
everybody's
it's fun
constantly-
for the whole family.
There's booze and bitches for everyone.
Let's be here.
Ow.
What?
You probably did.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wake up.
Ugh.
Oh, hello. Doesn't this guy look familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Also, Mr. Gibbs, if that was true, that would be bad luck all over the world right now.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
But hang on, if you recall correctly, last we saw this man, he was talking about how bad pirates are, but now he himself seems to be a pirate now. Interesting. Also, watch your step. People tend to shoot.
It's a moderate, gentle speed take.
Just an average Tuesday.
Like I said, Jack's always thinking 6 steps ahead of the game, even when it appears he doesn't know a damn thing.
Get the hint.
I'm no fool, but you certainly are.
No thank you. Sorry.
Now that changes things. But one might wonder, why? But think back also, how the crew of the Black Pearl reacted to the name Turner.
Yeah.
I love this brand of storytelling, how the pieces slowly but surely come together.
I also love that. That's a little thing that Barrow and Gibbs have going on for the franchise. Take what you can, give nothing back.
Oh yeah, I loved Sparrow and Gibbs as a duo.
All right. Meanwhile,
On the Black Pearl itself. That is
Right, she was still in her nightgown when she was kidnapped.
So might as well
What
give
is
her a
this? What
nice
is this?
fancy dress.
what is this? Beauty and the Beast? Oh, and you'll have dinner with me. That's not a request.
Yeah, no thank you.
So I guess she'll be taking the dinner with the captain instead.
Be that way.
Damn, the pirates food looks better than half of ours.
Well, they certainly do rob the rich. Might as well get some good food out of it.
It's like I was watching the Ghost of Christmas Present feast
It's a.
Look at that.
I love how when it's all right, ma'am. No need for manners here. You must be hungry.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's also, but boss also wants to make a point.
That, despite the fact that they act all refined, people can be just as beastly as pirates.
Just
No,
also
there's a-
something that he's about to explain.
No, Elizabeth. For all you know, you might have poisoned that food.
Hey, monkey.
If I wanted you dead, I'd have done so by now.
That is true.
Oh, is that so?
This. It's not actually a coin, technically.
Well, it's a
No, it's a prop.
Or
Aztec coin.
an amulet. Central America, probably. Yeah.
Why? What is it with Cortez having tons of cursed material added to him in media?
Well, gee, Jovah, when you pillage and rape an entire country, maybe you tend to piss off someone.
Including the
maybe
gods.
person or two,
Like, I'm not even kidding. Cortez actually comes back as a cursed ghost himself in the Junior Jack Sparrow novel series, which focuses on Jack's teenagehood.
Our conquistadors also, if I recall correctly, partially the enemies in the Jungle Cruise movie.
Oh,
Yes, they are.
You hardly believe in ghost stories. Have you forgot what name of the movie we're in?
But this movie's not called Ghost Stories.
But it's called Pirates of the Caribbean, Lassie.
So, yeah.
Obviously. That's one interesting way to have a curse. It's not a matter of not only you're not able to, you technically are immortal, not able to die, but you will feel nothing.
Yeah. You're immortal, but you can't enjoy life.
Basically, they're blessed with suck in the highest pinnacle. Technically, they have the potential to be the most unstoppable pirate crew ever. The cost is... well, it feels like damnation on Earth. They can't die, they can't taste, or really feel anything.
They can't even enjoy it either.
No.
It,
This is also part of the point of the feast, that like Barbossa gets to see someone genuinely enjoy something he can't.
I like to imagine that they have literally scoured the globe for every
For
piece,
years, yes.
keeping count.
And yeah, like you need they need her blood since she touched the medallion.
Well, that and, like, as far as they know, she's a Turner, so...
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
Oops.
Yeah, didn't you hear what I just said?
Improvisation.
I didn't read the
But
script.
now
so
it's
just tell me.
time for Gore Verbinski to show his effects
no,
at
early
work.
2000 CGI. Oh no.
And yet, I'm gonna say it, this actually looks pretty damn good still.
It's not on the same level of Gollum in Lord of the Rings, but I've seen worse.
Whoop.
Nice one.
Whee!
Whee!
Oh, this is a wedding ceremony.
I'll admit, as a kid, this kind of did actually give me the creeps.
Well, that's kind of the point.
Ow. I also partially suspect that someone watched Army of Darkness because most of the physical comedy with the undeads is basic, that kind of like that. Yes, even the monkey is cursed. Damn.
That is here. It's one of my favorite moments in the movie.
Sounds like a fate worse than death. And that transition effect is just amazing.
Unless someone uses magic, maybe that works partially, we don't know.
Yep. Yeah, better believe in ghost stories. You're in one.
Yep.
You're grounded.
Hold on. Wait for it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
What are you laughing at? Get back to work.
Don't be too scared. You're just on a skip. Well, yeah, you are legit on a ghost ship, honey.
All right, Theo. This is the scene where I'm going to put out to you a line that Johnny Depp definitely did not improvise after it's done. It's actually another one of my favorite scenes, actually.
That's David Bailey as Cotton, South African actor. Also Dask on Doctor Who.
Okay then.
No.
Oh?
Hello.
Oh my god, Gamora!
Yeah, Zoe Saldana.
Ow.
Zoe Saldana, someone who loved this filmmaking experience so much she nearly retired from acting.
I know that one. Oh, I think you didn't deserve that one either. No, that one I deserved.
But
Oh.
yeah, apparently the filming experience of this was really, really chaotic, and Saldana was so distressed by it she nearly quit acting.
Took the combined efforts of James Cameron and James Gunn to convince her, I guess.
Okay, to be fair, from what I hear, she was originally gonna come back for Dead Man's Chest, but Avatar took up her time, so she didn't come back for that.
Okay then.
It's bad luck to have a woman on board. Trust me, it would be far worse if we don't break her. But anyway, remember that line where Jack Sparrow just said, "You have the courage and the fortitude to do whatever." Blah, blah, blah. Basically, tell in the bloopers, Johnny Depp was having a tremendous trouble delivering that line. He would constantly blub that line over and over and over. And there's one point in the bloopers where he literally goes, "God, I hate this bloody line. I'm going to strangle the script writer." So that's definitely a line that he did not improvise, since he hates it.
Fair enough.
So-
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
I'll admit, as interesting as it is to see movies, we do sometimes have to realize that what we're seeing are overall the best takes, so it really does put it into perspective. Like, even with the best movies, they can have interesting stories to tell of what happened behind the camera.
Also, that's a plot point also. Jack's compass is apparently broken and doesn't point to anything.
I also love how, and another great demonstration of how great of an actor Johnny Depp is that even in the bloopers, even when he does flub a line, he still stays in character, because he would say, "Oh God, I hate it." Not only did he keep the accent, he would say bloody line.
Oh,
even,
yeah.
so he would stay in character even during the bloopers.
Johnny Depp is probably one of the best character actors you see in stuff like... Again, even in something that's bad, he just disappears into different roles. He actually did make it a matter to often try and get as different a role he could in each movie. With the exception being, of course, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. So yes, this is Barbossa's crew's hideout. Isle de Muerta.
Isla de Muerta.
Wow,
Isla
this
de
is-
Muerta.
Isla, yeah.
I gotta say, wow, this is the most massive in scale yet bizarre episode of Cribs I've ever seen.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be, it could
Yeah.
be Skull Island.
My name is Hector Barbosa, and this is our crib. Captain, please don't say crib ever again. No, don't. You shouldn't be saying that. You should be saying Salazar's Revenge.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, plenty of shipwrecks, and plenty of sharks to show where the bodies went.
Notice how Jack keeps looking at the compass, but as Norrington said, it's a compass that doesn't point north. So what exactly is the use of that?
Oh, what? Hold the phone? Oops.
TMI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 10 years.
Tom.
10 years, and he
Yeah, how did
is...
Jack get off the island exactly?
Sea turtles.
I'm sorry. The Fox Doctor Dolittle movie was like 50 years ago. It did not work like that.
Yeah, what did he use for rope?
Yeah. That's a gentle way to say from your ass.
But yeah, this is one interesting thing, though. Turns out Jack was a bright-eyed captain back in the day who valued fairness to the point where he was willing to share pretty much the location of the treasure with his crew. And then Barbossa just mutinied him for it, which does show that Jack at his heart was a good man, but toughness and strife have forced him to adapt. And yet, in spite of all that, he is still that good man deep down. It's just that he's learned he has to play the game a lot smarter. And yes, in addition to the Aztec gold, this is essentially their stronghold of all the treasure, too.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, you know
that Jane Porter.
Yeah, his fake eye is wooden.
Believe it or not, that's another plot point. Okay. Idiot.
But yeah, no, that is a thing, though. These men could arguably be very rich, but like Barbossa hinted at, there's not really much to do with it since they're cursed.
Well, yeah. I forgot, who was Barbossa voice buying Kingdom Hearts 2? I don't even remember if it was Damien Free.
I don't know. I don't remember who it is. To be fair, the guy doing the impression did a better job than James with Jack Sparrow.
Definitely.
So
Let's see. Brian George.
Oh, okay.
You're familiar with that?
Heard the name already. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, all we did
I mean,
was
whose
steal
fault is
money,
that?
right?
You know, you gotta love the irony. By the crew mutinying Jack before they could get the treasure, they actually spared Jack of the curse when you get down to it. Karma and irony. Not
Oh,
yet.
now you want to actually rush.
Well, that's the actor's last name.
Huh.
Pirate.
See, we, the audience, are paying attention.
Oh. If I recall correctly, I think this was because Jeffrey Rush's favorite fruit was apples that they worked this into Barbossa's character.
You're skeletons, not vampires.
Bonk. Fucking idiot.
He really has no idea, but he ruined Jack's plan.
Yeah. Like they thought she were gonna kill her.
And
Surprisingly enough, it's not a 3D shot. Enemy to know.
but wait, it's not night and there's no moon, so
How can you test?
How will they know?
Huh?
Yeah.
That's one way.
That's one way, I guess.
You know, you could have just walked outside.
Well, it's daytime outside. Well, shoot.
You fucked up. Out of context.
Yeah. Looks like we might be seeing another mutiny.
And then we spill all
Yeah,
your
the
blood.
monkey had more common sense. So I know what you're thinking. So that means that now officially, you know, Elizabeth is cursed, right? Apparently the movie forgets about that, or at the very least doesn't bother to show it.
I guess the rule is that, you know, technically it does show her moving the medallion, but I don't think she's the one who technically took it out of the chest, so
At the very least, either her or Will should be, because they touched it and they took it away from the place.
I was
although,
gonna joke, maybe it curses men only, I don't know.
well, given how the online game worked with it, no, it apparently can also affect women. Okay, if I recall correctly, I think the motion is that Barbossa smacked her.
Yes, Jovah?
I think the motion was that Barbossa whacked her, and around that time he accidentally swept the medallion out, so technically that's why she's not cursed. That's my best guess, story-wise.
There was an online game.
Yes!
Huh.
An online
I did
Pirates of the
not know that.
Caribbean game. My sister loved it.
There was even supposed to be like a bigger one, but if I recall correctly, it was ultimately cancelled.
Oh, the Armada of the Dam game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he came to rescue you. And remember the pirate code. Fall behind, left behind.
You'll be fine.
Believe it or not, this will be far from the worst predicament Jack is in. And that is saying something.
I'm Jack Sparrow, bitch. Yeah.
But I'm the captain.
Captain of a dying ship. Piece of.
Oh, I wanted to shoot someone.
Shoot yourself. You won't even die.
It's less fun that way.
Ah, but he knows whose blood they need. And Jack being Jack still works out a way of opportunity.
You know what this scene really needs to be complimented? Goofy standing in the background.
Yes. I mean,
I'm mostly mentioning it because it's used as basically the prime image example for the NARM in the Kingdom Hearts set of TV tropes pages.
Yeah. Honestly, Pirates of the Caribbean Added was one of the most out of left field yet coolest additions to Kingdom Hearts. Like, nobody saw it coming, honestly, at that time. Like, sure, the closest we'd gotten was Nightmare Before Christmas, which was stop motion beforehand. But Pirates of the Caribbean was like the first time a live action series got
to be fair,
added.
Jovah, it was roughly around 2 or 3 years tops after this movie came out, and this was very successful. So it had to be guessed. I argue Tron was a bigger surprise.
True, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then Tron Legacy got representation in a 3D. Okay.
She was afraid, Weird as a child would have been executed.
Okay, that's a good reason, but why did you take it the second time?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's so okay. I get the idea that the ruling says that if you have stolen the piece and you give it to someone else, that someone else is not cursed because logically otherwise Elizabeth would have been cursed as a child. I get that. But again, this was a case where it was more direct than anything. I don't know. It just feels a slight oversight more than anything.
Oh, my main confusion comes from, why did Elizabeth steal the medallion? Was it, I guess, a way to prolong stuff, I wonder?
No idea.
Scout's honor. That's a good point. And hey, just to taunt Barbossa, why don't we eat an apple right in front of him? And enjoy it, too. Eat an apple. Makes you look more like an asshole.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, to be fair, they are, one key ruling that the movies will, be actually very consistent about. The Black Pearl is objectively the fastest of the vessels.
Yep. Even with tattered sails, she is a force to be reckoned with. She's able to go up against a literal ghost ship in the sequel, too, in terms of speed. I do like that line, though. Like, again.
Yeah.
I like that bit, though. It does show a bit of a dividing line between the sort of pirate Jack is and the sort of pirate Barbossa is. Jack encompasses the sort of wily pirate that, while it is a pirate, is still good meaning. But like Barbossa said, it was that kind of attitude that lost in the Pearl. Because Barbossa was the kind of pirate who will cheat, torture, or absolutely humiliate you, and do it for his own benefit. With a smile on his face. But yeah, as you can tell, when the Black Pearl's coming after you, that is not a good sign. Yeah, that is one thing. The Black Pearl, while she was originally a majestic ship, is not exactly being taken care of well. Again, probably due to the crew not really caring because they're undead. But yeah, the Black Pearl also has her own tricks. And just for that extra flavor, raise the pirate flag to let them know we're attacking. Put the fear of God in their hearts.
Actually, maybe you're able to actually answer this, Jovah, because I probably should just check for myself and everything, but out of curiosity, who actually, invented, is there a person specifically that, designed the Jolly Roger?
I think it might have been... Right, yeah, Emmanuel Wynne.
Okay.
He was the first pirate, a French pirate, to use the flag. Although, yeah, again, the thing is, while a lot of media shows pirates just flying that flag willy-nilly, no, usually they only raise that flag to let ships know that they're about to attack.
Yeah. Usually, it could constitute an act of piracy just not having your country's flag on the ship. That's what put in trouble one of the American revolutionaries.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot who he was.
We're gonna drift around them.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing? I can't believe the battleship movie tried to do also this maneuver, but played it completely seriously.
Oh, there actually is a term for that. Club hauling. I guess it was a thing some ships did back in the day. But yeah, that takes away their advantage with the rakes, so now we'll have to do it in proper combat. Poor Jack. But yeah, the crew of the Interceptor are resorting to also using utensils.
Stop doing that.
So I say they're enacting the me method.
What, fire everything?
Yeah, blow it up.
At the very least, it's not like in the Resident Evil movies with the coin shot.
Yeah, like...
God, that was so stupid.
Yeah, like, this movie actually remembers, yes, it's a creative shot, but it's not going to be more powerful than actual cannonballs. Ah, there's that classic Sparrow look. Well, shoot.
Actually, we only mentioned it very briefly, so might as well talk about it. Who composed the score?
Oh.
Klaus Badell.
I forgot. Is he gonna be recurring for the franchise? Or
No.
Okay.
No. They switched it up with Hans Zimmer from the second to the fourth movie, where in the fifth he was replaced by Jeff Stanelli.
Okay.
Basically, we have Klaus defending for the iconic "he's a pirate" leitmotif that will be essentially the franchise's main theme. Hans Zimmer would be the one who would expand things the best of it, as Dribs mentioned, across 3 other movies.
And Jess Sonelli would do his best.
I'll confess, I have not yet seen Dead Men Tell No Tales because I have heard not so great things about that, and I am scared.
Salazar's Revenge is just kind of.
I also haven't seen it because 4 just left me with such a bad taste in my mouth that it was like, okay, that's enough for now.
I actually liked 4, but given certain circumstances between Disney and Johnny Depp, I'm afraid of Dead Men No Tales being my last experience with anything Jack Sparrow related, and it not being the best. Also, dumbass, you may have just killed the one bit left of your salvation. I honestly love Barbossa's reaction in the Lego Pirates game when he realizes, oh crap, we may have just killed the one actual true descendant. Jack is literally praying to Will right now.
You could, even if you're dead, we can still take your blood.
Well, I think the inclination is that it needs to be the blood of someone who's, alive. That, and if he shoots himself, he'll sink to the bottom of the sea, and that will make him hard to find.
No problem, we'll just go and fetch you back.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned Davy Jones's locker, Will. It's very funny you mentioned that. And you know, I love how Jack was pretty much trying to signal to him to get a much better deal than just that.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, you're kind of suck at the negotiating game, Will. I love that fake out. The dress literally matters more to them than her.
We spent a lot of money on that dress. What a charming fellow.
Even the monkey. Hope she can swim.
Don't worry. We're in one of those big watery sound stages. She'll be fine. I think that's where they filmed this anyway.
Uh-oh. Deja vu. How nice.
How very chivalrous of you. You could shoot the lady dead, so you can still be alive and starve to death.
I guess the idea—it's gentlemanly in that he saves her the fate of starving.
Oh yeah, because being shot and killed is so much better.
I just can't win with you, can I, Dwebs?
Eh.
You're a pirate.
I know there's you're a bloody pirate, as they keep saying. Bloody pirates!
I love that line. Although I also like the Kingdom Hearts version of that line. That's the second time I've had to watch that man walk away with my ship. Sorry, she has no ballistics on her. Oh, there are books about him.
So here's the truth.
Oh, crud. Heh.
Wait for it.
I mean,
I can't drink this. I'm 17.
well, hold on.
Is she? Wait, how old is Elizabeth's character supposed to be?
I'm not
in this
sure.
movie.
No.
I'm not
I
sure.
mean, she looks early 20s.
Oh, that's the thing, though.
That's right. She was 17 when she filmed this.
I know. Yeah, honestly, I
Really?
honestly thought she was in her 20s from this, but no, she was apparently.
She doesn't look 17 at all. Damn, like, how is she gonna look when she hits 40? Then, geez, she looks way older than she actually is here. Go on.
Also, yeah, they were singing the song from the ride, "Yo ho, a pirate
Yeah,
song.
yo ho ho, that's that for me. Yeah. Well, that song already existed before the ride, if I remember correctly.
But yeah, this movie and the franchise as a whole was so successful that they actually incorporated characters from the movies into the rides.
Well, it only made sense. So. I mean, when people think Pirates of the Caribbean nowadays, they think the movies before they think the ride, really.
Yeah. Well, now, about to turn up the Riz, are we?
Yeah, technically, actually, you know what? This is a fine island, and it doesn't have any set drinking age. So
But you may have
screw it.
noticed, though, Elizabeth didn't down all of her drink. That's because she wanted Jack passed out so that she could, do this. She's burning the
Oh.
rum.
That is a waste of rum.
Yes. If you don't want to drink it, give it to me. Like.
Yes, that is
Why is the rum gone?
one way to actually.
Hold on. Excuse me, honey. Don't generalize. Not everybody who drinks rum is a drunk, alcoholic.
That is one of, that's one way to get to Jack's heart even more than his hat or the Black Pearl. He was tempted. He was tempted.
Look. Can you blame him? This woman literally just you could have made a signal for a ship without necessarily destroying the rum. Yeah, it is pretty terrible now. I agree. I'm with Jack on this one.
But Dad and Joel.
I mean, what suggestion do you have?
You could burn something else. It doesn't necessarily
Like
have to be the
what?
rum. I don't know.
Exactly, shut up.
Cut down a tree and burn that. Like
You take
But
away
the tree was burning.
you take away a drink, you take away a man's salvation to escape his problems.
exactly, Shiroi. See?
But hang on, wait. Isn't drinking alcohol in the scorching hot sun a bad idea?
Yes, it warms you up.
Although to be fair, they were drinking at night when it would be cooler. But yeah. It's an interesting reverse. Now it's Elizabeth who wants to save Will from the pirates.
No, I mean, yes.
I absolutely love you, and I'm not using this so that you'll rescue the man I actually love.
Who said you were invited?
Well, remember, Jovah, this was back in the 15th century, or is it 15th century? Back when this was back. As long as he gets someone to plow, he'll be happy.
Okay, yeah, this is actually the 18th century, 17th.
Well, the same logic still applies.
Yeah.
But wait, if you're planning on having the wedding on the boat, who's gonna be the officiator?
I assume the ship's chaplain?
The monkey.
Well, hell, Jack's a captain. You can get him to do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, is that actually a real rule? Like, say you're on like a cruise ship, and you want to get married right there. What do? Ask the captain to do it.
I don't know if the captain can do it, but from what I understand, most ships have like a chaplain or, some person of religious authority for that. Though I
I'll look
think...
it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. A ship's captain often doesn't have the legal right to perform weddings at sea unless he is also a judge, minister, justice of the peace, or a notary public.
That is funny given what happens in parts of the Caribbean Free. But yeah, talk about Will's father. He was the one pirate who was still loyal to Jack. Oops. So yeah, essentially his father, as far as we know, has a fate worse than death. Stuck at the bottom of the ocean, and if he's cursed like the rest of the crew, he can't die.
I mean, he can tame some cool sea creatures. I don't know.
I guess so. Hey, who knows? Maybe Ariel and company will help him. Although, given how mermaids are in this universe...
Ha ha! I'm party to mass murder.
Oh, Jack's confident that things will work out in the end. Dang.
Okay, guys, I think you're taking this a little far.
Well, to be fair, it is like, as far as they know, the only means to escape their cursed fate, so...
And who put that on them in the first place?
That is a good point. Back in record time this time. I love how they give Donald Duck that line in Kingdom Hearts. But hey, I'm not one to discriminate.
A fate worse than death, marrying that pompous asshole.
So we're all cursed in a way. Oh?
But it can't be your funeral. They can't die.
Ah, but that's the thing. If they break the curse, there is a Navy armada waiting outside for them.
Can nothing ever go right?
So, yeah, Jack's plan in that regard. Play both sides against each other while he can slip away.
The British are coming.
Shoot,
Yeah,
who are we
sure,
rooting
I think
for?
He's
He's kind of spoiled the plan, though. Now the Black Pearl crew know that they're there.
Ah, but Wibbs, that is in fact part of Mr. Sparrow's plan. Although, admittedly, part of the issue is that Norrington did not take Jack fully to his word, which means that, no, Jack was actually telling the truth to him, but Norrington didn't believe him. Classic chess move. Ah. From what I understand, this does have a culmination in the 5th movie. So, there's that. So there's Jack's deal. Barbossa could essentially have a whole army of ships. But Jack wants the Pearl. He's even willing to sail as captain of that ship under Barbossa's tutelage. Now, keep in mind, Will may seem betrayed, but he noticed something Jack did, which means Will is finally learning. Eh?
I wanted to see.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they're not going to the boats exactly. One thing Jack may not have planned for is how they're about to employ their attack. A literal undersea march. Which, yeah...
Tis seems to be you've forgotten about our curse, Jack.
Well, I wasn't expecting that you would literally have him walk out to there. I'll admit, that one may have been a bit of a frenzy on my end.
So I'm the Brit playing an Australian playing a Brit, and you're the American playing a Brit.
Yes. Just like Johnny Depp.
I'm not Australian.
But hey, let's get a little something to distract the boys in red.
The Greeks done a choice. Mate, you do know that's a myth, right?
He's trying, Dwibs. He's trying.
No one could be that stupid.
Oh.
Make your mind up, was it good or wasn't it? God, people.
About that.
Yeah, we can't show the blood.
These are the quietest skeletons ever.
Well, they probably have had several years to learn stealth.
But guys, what about Jonathan Price?
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Surprise!
Oh yeah, shoot the cursed skeletons.
Well, to be fair, they don't exactly have much idea of what to do in this scenario, now do they?
Run.
Oh boy, here we go.
No kidding.
And so begins one of the greatest fight scenes in movie history. And it's compounded with, again, the He's a Pirate leitmotif, which excels every scene that is attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's
just... In the original PS2 release of Kingdom Hearts 2, Shimomura did her best running a good MIDI remix, but it really missed the punch of the orchestra version. Fortunately, by the time it came time to make the HD collections, the new orchestrated music for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 fixed that problem.
Yeah.
Shame about Klaus Badelt's summer blockbuster score the following year.
Eh?
What was it?
Catwoman?
Oh God, that was him?
Yes.
That's right,
Honestly,
Jesus.
I don't even remember the score of that movie because there was a lot of licensed stuff in that, like the nightclub scene.
And some vocal tune, which I guess they made as the main theme of it. Oh, you bad monkey.
Someone shut that thing up.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well, shoot. Literally being fired on by their own ship. No, not my wig. It's a sign of my status. What did I just say?
Yeah.
Surprise! I like the inclination that Will knew Jack was building up to this, hence him calling out Jack just to convince Barbossa.
At the time of this recording, we're recording the World's Review playthrough. I'd like to comment how in Kingdom Hearts 2, Tatsuya Kondo, that game's director, who's also the animation director for the Kingdom Hearts series, he did a great job replicating that scene with Scott and Jack on the PS2, by the way.
Yes. Right down to the hand motion, too.
Yeah. Again, remember, Kondo said in an interview that when they first started on Kingdom Hearts 1, he went home and he watched as many Disney movies as he could to study how the animation is.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably did the same thing with this movie. He watched it carefully to see how it looks and how it moves and shit. So
yeah, we talked about the music earlier. Apparently, the original composer was Alan Silvestri, who'd worked with Verbinski before. But there were a lot of creative differences between him and Jerry Bruckheimer, so he left before he recorded anything.
Wow, so...
Because Jerry Bruckheimer is not exactly a super pleasant person to work with.
So this literally could have, well, like I mentioned, World's End was pretty much the ending of its time, but the connection really would have been complete if Silvestri was the composer. And hey, as we'll see later, you could try and hack each other to pieces, so don't slouch on this duel still. Bunk! About that, Elizabeth.
Pirate code. Any man left behind is left behind.
Well, when you put it like that...
Funny that she
There you go.
should say
Bloody pirates. That's kind of that's one of the reoccurring lines of this.
Oh, wait.
Bloody pirates.
This line coming up.
There you go.
Even the pirates call out pirates for their BS.
Well, they know from experience.
There's also a lot of additional music composers credited, such as Jeff Sinelli, who would go on to do Pirates 5, and I can never pronounce his name right, Ramin Djawadi.
It's close enough, Dweebs.
Ramin would also do a shit 2004 movie the next year.
What?
Blade Trinity.
Oh.
Can't win them all, I guess.
Along, I think he co-composed that with the RZA.
Huh! I should know. I wore one.
I honestly don't even remember at all the score of Blade Trinity, but that should tell how bad he probably is.
That line does describe it. Whose side is Jack on? Well, at the moment.
It depends on the winds.
Very much so. Well, crud. Well, I guess that's one way to die. Unless they're still alive, in pieces. In which case, goddamn, what a terrible fate.
Of course, we had to do the whole hear the gunshot, but it's not the one.
Oh, I love this bit. A little bait and switch.
I also love the fact that this is taking an important point because in the Kingdom Hearts world, for the Western release, they had to do stupid censorship and replace all of the pistols with crossbows, but they had to keep the one in this scene because otherwise it didn't work.
No, you can't get rid of the pistol in this scene. It's way too poignant. And yes, he finally gets death, but he does not get to enjoy that which he sought to.
At the very least, we will never see him again.
Yeah, sure.
Hey guys, we're
A
finally.
shame.
Hey guys, we're finally free of the curse! Yay! Oh crap, we're finally free of the curse. Ugh.
And worst of all, it's being killed by the British.
Damn it!
Can't even go out in a good way.
I guess that hand's no longer skeletal.
Probably stinks too.
Well, bollocks.
Trucies?
Parlay. Oh, wait,
You
that
mean
doesn't
parlay, Shiro?
That doesn't work, unfortunately.
These aren't pirates.
Again, they're worse, so they're the British.
They do the same thing, just in fancy dress. I helped.
I fought an arm and
And I
won.
preserve my
Yay, I
leg,
helped.
Come on, man! I played a Bond villain. I didn't even do anything.
And with that, the battle is won, and Jack has finally found justice. Shame about the whole Elizabeth having to marry Norrington, but hey, you win some, you lose some. Just sorting through what's the best treasure to take.
Wouldn't that curse him still, though?
No. It's only the Aztec gold. So basically, leave that box the heck alone now. Don't touch anything of it. Don't even think of stealing a bit. Unless you do want to use it. That was actually a pretty cool thing in the online game, where they do include a mechanic that allows you to use the cursed gold to become cursed. Unfortunately for Jack... Yeah. It is legit sad, because again, for as much as Jack acts the wily rascal, you can tell he legit does want to treat people fairly. Can't even grant me that in my wake of death, can you? Also,
Everyone's just suffering, aren't
D'Artagnan,
they?
what are you doing here? Seriously, what's that?
And why are you cosplaying as D'Artagnan? Like,
you know, it's funny because Orlando Bloom will later be in the 2011 Three Musketeers film.
Yeah.
But is the law always right?
It's British law, Jovah. When is he right?
Good point. Oh? That parrot looks familiar.
Ha ha ha. Honey.
You're dressed very fancy today, Will. Kind of an awkward thing to tell her while her fiancé is right there, but... Well, I guess to be
He's
fair...
a dick. No one cares about his feelings.
True. And I guess Will figures might as well do it now, because he's about to do something that might very well see him killed. Again?
Oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
Again.
Is that technically treason? You know, pretending to faint?
Maybe.
Pose.
Now, hopefully that won't have any ramifications in any of the sequels. I love it. Even down to the last few minutes, we get an action scene. Oh! Oh, nice sword. No! Rope of one weakness!
Oh.
Technically, he is the pirate who saved all your asses. What even is this place in this wacky world? Oh. No bias or nepotism to be found here.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I will love this. So the entire emotional core at the end of the first movie is a cock arc.
Although, to be fair...
If only Deji were here to witness this.
To be fair, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Get roasted, Norrington.
Again, I'm sure we'll not see him again.
Totally. I can't tell if that's Jack trying to console him legit or if he's just rubbing it in.
Rubbing it in.
Yeah,
Maybe
probably.
both.
Yeah, maybe both. We gotta really work on people falling off that ridge.
Yeah, put a railing there or something.
Hey, the Black Pearl and looking better than ever.
And that's how people justify piracy on the internet.
I mean,
Yar.
honestly, when you...
Hooray!
I mean, you know, as much as the British, as much as the British may want to deny it, Sir Francis Drake was pretty much a pirate. He was just a privateer of sorts. So the British love him, the Spanish hate him. Basically, treat the woman right, dipshit. Wow! Did somebody's heart grow 10 times that day?
Well, Jim Carrey was supposed to be in the movie at one point, so...
Jim Carrey is Jack Sparrow. Again, don't get me wrong, I feel like we got the best outcome with Johnny Depp, but it really does make you wonder, what would it have been like?
Well, Jim Carrey can pretty much do anything acting-wise, so I'm pretty sure he would have done... You probably would have made him even wackier, considering most of the... I mean, the way Jack behaves is mostly fought up by Johnny Depp himself. So I get the feeling if they did the same thing with Jim Carrey definitely would have made him even wackier.
Which makes me wonder if we would have gotten a wackier tone to the movie, too.
Oh, well.
Again, we'll just have to wonder what if. Somewhere in the multiverse there's a universe where we see what that would have been like. But look at that. Jack's crew in the end showed him the loyalty that he's always wanted.
Yep, and I'm sure you'll be sticking around.
Absolutely.
You know, the ironic thing about Zoe Saldana is that she's gotten onto a lot of big box office successes.
Yeah, true. So it worked out all right for her in the long run. Yep, sorry, I had to cut the song off there.
For the real theme, he's a pirate. All right then.
All right.
Dwibs.
Okay. Yeah, I still really enjoy this movie because I mean, out of all 5 of them that we've gotten, this is the more simpler one to follow and understand. I mean, that's not to say it's not. I'm not saying it's like, you know, super easy, but I think it's easy enough to get. And I do enjoy the music, even if, I mean, yeah, the most memorable one is the main theme, but the rest of it still suits the movie. And it's just the right length. Just over 2 hours. Something that the other ones would forget to do, but we'll get there. Honestly, there's not really much else to say. I mean, the film's been out 20 years, so I think everything's already been said. And I will say, though, I am actually looking forward to the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, it's that's like the 1 out of the 5 movies I like the most that isn't the first one, although I do have a bit of a soft spot for the 4th movie as well. So it'll be interesting to see how we go along and how much let's just say I'm looking forward to you guys' patience for some of the other movies.
I should be fine. I've never really had an issue with the pacing. I do understand issues, but I guess that's for another time. That it for your final thoughts?
Yeah, that's it.
Sure, Roy.
Pretty much the same as Dwibs. I'm not sure if I have anything else to add. Just a really fun movie. It'll just be good to rewatch a lot of these, I guess, because I think I've only seen the first 4, and that's it. But yeah, this is still very good. All the effects hold up and such. Yeah, everything's great here. And there you go.
All right. Tio.
Sure, it's fine. What I do, the thing that I would argue potentially against him are the slight desaturation, which, to be fair, did not pay too much attention, so it's not really a problem. And one thing that instead I did notice pretty much since the beginning, when I watched it the first time, I argue the middle part meanders just a bit. You know, we kind of go back and forward a bit between Isla de Muerta and, you know, the Interceptor, plus, I mean, the British to arrive. I don't know, I think trimming away 10 minutes would have, you know, made the film just fine on that front. But, which, to be fair, props for Kingdom Hearts to actually stick to adapting that, because they kind of replicate that kind of back and forth. But otherwise, it's just the same as Lives and Shear said. It's still solid. I still prefer 2 and 3 overall as a as a unique movie, even if there are 2 separate parts. But this one is still fine. Next.
Pedro.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's pretty much like, again, like when we think about when we think about classic pirate movies, you think stuff like adaptations of Treasure Island and stuff like that. But when it comes to the kids of this period, this movie definitely serves as the de facto pirate movie at the time, and that's because it's just so fun. The characters are all really well written, and the comedy is great, and the overall storyline is pretty creative and enjoyable. The score is also fantastic, and yeah, this is pretty great. The effects really hold up well, all things considered, considering it's a 20-year-old movie. So, yeah. Like I said, I kind of wish we could have stayed in this specific territory for this franchise, but the franchise will go all up and down and all around in various directions moving forward. So yeah, so to me, this is still the best Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I mean, because I feel like this is the one that has the best balance of everything. Like, it manages to keep the focus on being a swashbuckling pirate adventure, while still having some creative supernatural elements that aid the story rather than overwhelm it. Whereas I think the sequels lost this balance. Some more than others, obviously, but yeah, I feel like this is still the best part of the character. Definitely the best one. Not to say that the other movies are irredeemable and don't have good things about them, but this is the one that definitely has, this is the one that got everything right, if you ask me. So that's basically it. That's it. Awesome movie. Go on.
Yeah, needless to say, I flipping love this movie. It introduced me to a lot of stellar actors, but like I mentioned, this was a movie that revitalized the pirate genre in media. Like, any movie that's able to revitalize a genre after it's pretty much become utterly cursed is nothing to scoff at, and this is no exception. I arguably think the effects still hold up, although they will only get better, especially culminating by stuff like World's End, just showing how fantastic they could be. The plot is great, the characters are wonderful, and it is interesting what they do with them. Like, you're not sure who's the main protagonist, and like Tio mentioned, there's technically multiple ones. However, at the end of the day, the man with a plan is the one at the forefront, Jack Sparrow, who, for Disney at the time, was definitely an unusual protagonist. He's someone that you're not sure of where he lands on the alignment spectrum, but in the end, he does turn out to be a pirate with a heart of gold, fittingly enough. The rest of the characters are great. Barbossa is an amazing antagonist. Will and Elizabeth work as good co-protagonists along with Jack. Jack's own crew here, his second one, not the first one who mutinied him, are an interesting and varied band of scallywags who will later see more action in future movies as well. And I like how even the ships themselves are characters in a sense, particularly the Black Pearl, who goes from being the menacing antagonist to being essentially later on a more carefree hero in the very end, where she is restored to her former glory and rightfully under Jack's watch. What else can I say? Like, this movie is incredible. It belongs in a museum, the National Film Registry, I do declare. The music is fantastic. Gore Verbinski shows that he is amazing at getting action scenes done. And the amazing thing is, despite the CGI, a lot of this action is practical. Keep that in mind. And this was in the 2000s where CGI was starting to become more used. Granted, not overtly, but even still, there's a lot of practical action here, which is often a plus in my book. So, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. It's a fantastic movie that spawned a fantastic franchise, and you can bet there's much more to come on the horizon. All right, then. So, we'll see you later and... Oh! Actually, there is a post-credit scene.
With an apple.
And a monkey.
A
Oh.
monkey.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The monkey was thrown into the water. Uh-oh.
No, monkey, don't touch that. You'll get cursed.
The monkey is filthy rich now, though.
Yeah.
And he eats the
Avoosh.
audience.
Wow, rude.
So, yes, we will indeed have an undead monkey on our hands.
Seems like it.
Cool.
So, with that said in mind, happy birthday to me. Anyone else's birthday who is today, happy birthday to you. And tune in next time for when we once again sail the seven seas.
See ya then.
See ya.
Ta-ta.